Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from the Black Business School. Now I want to talk about something that's probably a little bit sensitive, and so I want to be very, very careful to make sure that people understand exactly what I'm saying. I have no problem taking any accountability for anything that I say, but I won't take a responsibility for things I did not say. So one thing I am not saying right now is I'm not saying that I'm not happy for Patti LaBelle and her pies. I'm not saying that black people are dumb for wanting to buy sweet potato pies. I'm not hating on what Patti LaBelle is doing. That's not at all on the table right now. What I want to do is get you to think critically about something. I want to just kind of process this for a minute. I'll share with you my processing as I kind of saw this pie phenomenon go down. I hear the pies are delicious. I actually, when I was rolling through Walmart, the person I was with, they said, "Hey, why don't we go see if they got any Patty's pies?" I was like, "Okay, yeah, let's try one." So even I was on that whole Patty's pie thing. I think that video that the brother did to promote the pies drew a lot of curiosity. I'm sure that they're excited. They're now learning. They're sort of restructuring how they think about viral marketing and how this actually works. I guarantee you within a year, probably 6 months, you're going to see some other celebrity put something in a store, probably a white-owned distributor like a Walmart or a Target, and they're going to try to recreate this sort of virality that came from this video, because here you have a video that costs nothing to make that has literally made at least $3 or $4 million. Probably by the end of the week, I bet those pies will have made maybe five, six, seven, $10 million. And before that, they couldn't sell them. They were not even moving off the shelves. Now they're everywhere. So that just tells you what virality can do with the internet. Now, with that being said, here's what I kind of saw when I saw this Patty's Pies thing, and this is a question I asked myself, and I can't be scared to bring this question up because I think it's something worth thinking about, and I want to hear what you guys think about it as well. Now, of course, some people are going to say, "Oh, Dr. Boyce, you're being too serious. It's just pies. It's just pies. We just having fun with pie." Okay, fine. If you think I'm too serious, then say that. That's your right to your opinion. But for those who are thinking a little more deeply on this issue, what I want to throw out there is this. My first thought when I see this video is I remember I asked this on my Facebook page, and I said, so the whole world has gone bananas over this video about a pie, and I said I wonder if they would have been equally ecstatic, would have rushed to the store if his video had been about a book. So what if he said, instead of saying, "Oh Lord, child Jesus, you need to go get Patty's pies," if instead of saying that, if he said, "Oh Lord, child Jesus, you got to go read the new Jim Crow. You got to go read Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson, girl. That's going, bitch. That's the best book ever, right?" So what if he had done that, right? And would people have rushed to go buy a book? What is it about us as a community that will make us go rush to buy sweet potato pies in a community full of obese diabetics, by the way? Rush to go buy sweet potato pies, but we would not go rush to buy sweet potato books, right? We're not going to go and take over the store to go buy to buy things that are healthy for us. If he were pushing health food, why is it that I just speculate strongly that we wouldn't have been nearly as excited as we were about the sweet potato pie? That was one thought, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I don't even have an answer for this question. I have a little bit of an answer based on what I've seen, but I think that laying out the question at least allows us to really self-reflect on the cultural norms that influence us the most. What is it that moves our community the most? Why is it that we can move heavily on some things, but other things we have a hard time getting mobilized? Why is it that we can be mobilized to go see, the next Tyler Perry movie, but not always mobilized to take over the PTA meeting at the local high school, right? That says something about what we value. That says something about who we are. And then, with this video, I don't know how to bring it up because I don't want to shame the brother who's doing the video, but I just think about that and I say, you know, this man. So you got this obese, very feminine, and I guess he's feminine. That's who he is. Now, it's a right of every man to be as feminine as he wants to be, if that's who he is. But we can't have a whole community with black men acting like this. Like I can't be on here and be feminine too, and then every other black man be feminine. Because if we were all feminine, then there would be no black community. We wouldn't be able to reproduce, right? So not every black man can be in that category. Although every man has the right to be who they want to be. But in addition to that, you see the man who's singing and dancing over a piece of pie. So this obese guy who might looks like he could be a candidate for diabetes, very typical for black folks. We love our sugar. We sugar actually you can literally create sugar addictions in your children at a very early age. I watched a documentary called it was called Effed Up. It's on Netflix. You got to go check this documentary out because I grew up on the sugar too, so I'm a victim just like everybody else. And they talked about how much sugar is in our diet, and if you don't think about what you're eating, how corporations will work overtime to put extra sugar in everything you eat. And the communities they target the most are black and brown communities because we think the least about what we eat. So when you see Big Mama getting a foot cut off because she got diabetes, or heart attacks, strokes, heart disease, and other physical ailments, you cannot disconnect that from what we consider to be our traditional food on at Sunday dinner. We can't, right? So ultimately, I'm looking at this feminine obese black man dancing and singing over pie. He takes a bite of the pie and he's literally buck dancing. That didn't make me feel good, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm happy for the brother, and I understand, it's comedy, etc. But it's very stereotypical comedy, and it's not to say that there's anything wrong with him being him, and for people like that to exist. But understand two things. Number one, people like him are manufactured. Media creates the caricatures that we embrace. So we think that it's us. We think, oh, I only act like this because that's just who I am. Well, no, you're just like everybody else. You're affected by something. I was influenced by maybe Malcolm X, influenced by Dr. Claude Anderson. I'm influenced by Cornel West. That affects how I approach things, right? We have templates that are delivered to us. Media delivers lots of templates of what you're supposed to be as a black man, and also avenues for success. So that's the first thing. How did he learn to become this person that finds his path to success by dancing and singing over sweet potato pie? Um, you can't get much more stereotypical than that. Just to be real with you, and again, I say this with all complete respect to the brother and to Patty and everybody. I'm not trying to hate on anybody, so let's not get into that. Um, but then the other point that comes up into my mind is, I think, I wonder if it's easier for a black man to get fame, success, and notoriety when he fulfills stereotypes. I think in media, for example, in Hollywood, you're much more likely to get an acting deal if you act like a Lucius Lyon than you are if you act like, say, a Malcolm X. You're more likely to get opportunities if you are a feminine black man than you are if you are a masculine black man. Studies show that feminine or gay black men actually do as well as white men in corporate America, whereas regular black men on average actually do worse than everyone else in corporate America. And so it does kind of speak to this idea that there is an image of us that people enjoy the most. They enjoy the buck dancing, sweet potato pie eating, singing black man much more than the very serious, thoughtful, critical, analytical black man who's going to be critical of racial inequality, who's speaking up on behalf of his people, who wants to be there for his family in certain ways, all these other things. So, again, congratulations to Patty for the pies. If you bought a pie, I don't think you're a coon. Congratulations to the brother on his video. I think that's perfectly fine. But I think that we really want to look at these things with a critical eye and ask ourselves, why are certain products more successful than others? Why do we get mobilized around some things but can't get mobilized around others? Why are certain kinds of black men more successful than other kinds of black men? If we don't start asking these questions, then we're going to kind of always be stuck in this cage because we don't even know that we're in a cage. We don't even know that somebody built the cage before we got here. We really think we're free, but really we've been operating in an environment or a psychological environment that was created by somebody else long before we ever arrived. So that's all I really want to say. I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from the Black Business School. I'd love to hear what you think. If you think I'm full of it and want to tell me off, that's your right to do so. But I hope that you'll go deeper than that and actually just disagree or explain your position in a way that's thoughtful. We got to get past this whole, oh, you just hating, all that stuff. That's silly. Don't anybody who brings a critical argument to something is not automatically a hater. Maybe they are a thinker. and it's okay to be a thinker in the black community. In fact, when you're not a thinker, that's when you get psychologically manipulated the most. So that's all I want to say. Talk to you guys soon. Take care. Bye bye.